These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Saturday, January 20th. We are here after the Celtics lost to the Denver Nuggets, which we did recap in our video this morning. So if you wanted to hear our full thoughts on that game, make sure to check that out. It's on the channel right now. But for the first time in what feels like a long time, we're doing a full pod without a game recap embedded into it. I feel like it's been like a couple weeks until the schedule has aligned that way. But we're here with no game to talk about. And so nothing, there will be no future Jacks. There will be no future Sams. There will be no us throwing it over to each other. It's just you get us in one stream of consciousness here today, talking about the Celtics. Speaking of stream of consciousness and maybe a lack thereof, what the hell was Kendrick Perkins saying on the air last night? This man has made more money off of speaking gibberish. And first and foremost, I like Perk. Perk seems fine, right? Like he seems like a very genuine person. He seems like a cool guy. This might have been the most obscene thing I've ever heard, like be aired on television for a guy who gets paid to speak on television. This was obscene.
This is really mean for no reason.
Yeah. Can you read the quote?
Yes.
No, do me one better, Sam. Read me the quote, then explain to me what it means.
So Kendrick Perkins was on ESPN's I don't know what they call it, but they're like in between game show, their worst version of Inside the NBA. And he said, if you take his brain out and put it in a bird, the bird is going to start flying backwards. Well, Joe Mazzulla walks forwards. I also don't think yesterday was particularly a bad Joe game. People in the comments can tell me. I mean, I didn't love that he didn't call a timeout when Tatum went 1-on-4, but aside from that, like, I really am not going to be like sitting here like, oh yeah, I thought Mazzulla was terrible yesterday and Celtics lost because of him. Can you really point out a ton of things that went wrong on his accord? Can you pin the late game struggles on him? No, I don't think so. Maybe you could be like, tell them to do something different, but
I don't know. We're gonna watch the late game offense against the Nuggets later. Spoiler alert. But for what it's worth, I don't necessarily think they got bad shots, and maybe I'll look stupid in about 20 minutes, but like I think they got good looks. They just missed them all. I wrote about it for Celtics blog, and the clips aren't up, so ratlistnba.com and national TV, whatever.
Save it. You said you forgot all your rat lists, and you're
that's not one of them. I have plenty. That's not one. I remembered my one that I forgot, but you threw me off. Stop. You got to stop interrupting me when I'm talking, man. I'm losing.
NBA.com didn't have the clips for you.
Yes.
When you your article. I listened.
Shot. And you also talk through while you're listening. This shot profile in the last 5 minutes, they took 10 shots, made 2, and of the 8 misses, 4 were threes, 4 were twos. All the threes were standstill jump shots. They weren't like pull up step backs, like they were catch and shoot. And all 4 twos were Tatum driving and or taking mid range, including the one at the end of the game. So like the shot profile, at least on paper, again, we're gonna watch. It was like normal, what you want. They just didn't make them, and so that's all you can blame the coach for. Realistically, he can't make the shots for the players. He can't be out there and choose what to do. Even what you're saying, like I understand the idea of maybe call a timeout when Tatum's going 1-on-4 or whatever it is. But like he said after the game, like your best player has the ball with a chance to make a play. Like you usually live with that. And I mean, on the replay, probably would have been best for Tatum to pull it out. But at the same time, of maybe Mazzulla should have called timeout. Maybe Tatum should have had the wherewithal to just pull it out and not go through 3 people. So like, I don't get why Perk decided to go out Mazzulla after this game out of anybody. There's plenty of criticisms you could throw at the Celtics in this game, but saying some odd non English insult at this guy doesn't make any sense to me. It's ridiculous.
Perk was borderline at the line where we're like, maybe he shouldn't have a Celtics card anymore. he trashes these guys any chance he gets, and I know it's part of being national media where you have to get clicks, you have to get attention on whatever you're doing.
But there's a difference.
And one good way to do that is by targeting a fan base like the Celtics, who are a very passionate group of people, very vociferous group of people. So you're going to get clicks, you're going to get interaction if you say something bad about them. But it's kind of weird to do that if you won a championship there and largely enjoyed being part of the organization. You got drafted there. You grew up as an adult there. There's a lot of things that Perk has gone through with the Celtics. They did trade him. So I guess if he has that weird chip on his shoulder.
There's a difference
Sure.
between wanting clicks and only going for clicks. All Perk has no backing here. And don't get me wrong, he's an NBA player. Of course he has some knowledge, but doesn't use it. He only says
He's
stuff
not
for
a
clicks.
coach.
That's all he does on air, right? He does there is no analysis. It is all I am going to say something to try to get clicks. And fair enough, that's the job, but it sucks. It sucks that is the job because there are other people out there. There are other people that would be in that position that could give valuable insight. But unfortunately, that's just not what people care about. That's not what clicks are about. That's not how money gets made. And so Perk is just allowed to say whatever the hell he wants because that's what people will click on. And it's frustrating.
I also think if you're now, this is just from a green colored glasses me perspective, but if you're a former Celtic, right, and you have a place in the media, if you're a super homer, you can literally do the same thing with other fan bases and get them mad. Paul Pierce did it, and people started to hate him, but he also had bad takes. This is just another case of I don't really think everybody that stepped on a basketball court should have a microphone. They just shouldn't. I think Perk's entertaining. This quote is entertaining. That's why we brought it up. It's really out of left field and kind of weird, but it is kind of funny. It makes no sense to the point where it is funny, but it makes no sense in a sense where I didn't think Joe was bad. This is not a Joe game. This is, and if you want to go back to the clips of the late game stuff, which we're going to do, we haven't watched them yet. But I think one of the things we may land on as a conclusion, maybe the movement wasn't there to get to these shots that should have necessarily been there and would have been there in a regular situation. Maybe that's where it went wrong. But it's just tough to really not get upset when the last 4.5 minutes, you score 4 points or whatever. It's just a crazy cold stretch, and it's annoying and frustrating when you're actually getting Denver to miss when Murray and Jokic were unconscious forever and you just can't capitalize. Yeah. It's brutal. So, of course, the fans are going to be upset, but Perk blaming this on Mazzulla is just outrageous. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
One more. He gets one more. And then
I don't even think he deserves one more.
HBTC, Celtics card revoked. Gets booed on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, I don't know if he even gets one more, man. He has been so they need to trade Brown, they need to do this, they stink.
Yep, he was a big break up the Jays guy. He slammed Tatum multiple times, which isn't the worst thing you can do. Sometimes it's deserved, but he's just said outrageous things about the Celtics that just don't make sense. Or it's act like you played here.
Yeah, I don't get it. And you don't have to be completely biased, but he's taking it in the point of the opposite. He's not completely biased. He's wholeheartedly unbiased to the point where there's not a kind thing that he says about the team, which is just I don't know. It's weird.
It's off-brand for guys that played here. It's weird.
That quote was whack. I didn't enjoy it, but anyways.
Yeah, you can hold them accountable. That's not what we're saying. We're not saying it should be a circle jerk anytime he opens his mouth, but
or if you're gonna have a take that Mazzulla sucked, at least be coherent. Maybe thoughts. Anybody thinks what do we think? Anyways, next Celtics thing. Victor Oladipo was at the Celtics game last night. Now, before all of you trade hungry, buyout happy guys get excited, he is hurt right now. He has not played in the game this season. He's on the Rockets after getting flipped around by the Heat and the Thunder, I believe, this summer. He is currently on the Rockets. He is out while recovering from a left patellar tendon repair. I don't know. I can Google now. Victor Oladipo injury return. Don't know when he could be back. He's out indefinitely right now.
Right.
He's most likely, this on CBS, with the Rockets haven't offered any indication that Oladipo has resumed practicing. He's most likely a week or more away from being ready to make his debut. So maybe it sounds like he could potentially be back. I will say he is probably a player who the Rockets would play if he gets healthy.
Yeah, they're trying to compete.
Yeah, but it does seem like he'll be out for probably the majority of the season. That said, if he is a buyout guy, the Celtics could technically get him because he's not making too much money. I'm not saying they could get him in the sense of they might want to. I'm saying it in the very literal sense of they would legally be able to sign him if he was bought out by the team. So far, this season, Victor Oladipo makes $9.45 million, which is below the MLE, which means the Celtics would be able to sign him if he did get bought out. But he was sitting courtside. Jason Tatum fell on him when he went to save the ball out of bounds.
Probably sent him back 2 weeks.
Yeah, right. Super cool red pants. But this is there's not much to it. But yeah, Victor Oladipo was in Boston. That's all we got.
Well, I don't even know if Victor Oladipo would necessarily be the guy that fits the bill of what they're trying to bring in. He's 6'5", 6'4". He
6'3".
back in his day was a good defender, but he's coming off a major knee injury, which I believe came off after another major knee injury or leg injury. So it's safe to imagine he won't be exactly the clamps god that he used to be. That time in the playoffs when he tweeted the lockout when he played good at the Garden one time, he's not going to be that guy. So pump the brakes. Right now, he's just a name and probably isn't going to be a realistic target anyway. But he was there. And it's always kind of a story when an NBA player is courtside at another NBA game. It's kind of strange.
I will say, realistically, it was probably just a matter of, look at the two best teams or two of the best teams in the league are playing. Let's go watch basketball.
He's
And
like,
here-
this is real hoops.
Yeah, here he is hanging out, having a good
And his
time.
best friend is to his right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Guy with the glasses.
Oh, I was lost. Yeah, I mean, Oladipo was there. Good for him, right? That's effectively all it is for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Unlike some of the players down the stretch.
There we go. There it is. We mentioned we were going to watch the late game execution. That is what we're doing now.
Pull it up.
Like I said, ratlistnba.com for not having the clips because it's a national TV game. But shout out Nate on Twitter. Is that who it is, right?
Yeah.
Or sorry, this one. That's the wrong tab. Nate, pull up shoot on Twitter. He broke down some of the late game stuff, late game shots, and we're gonna watch and we can say good shot, bad shot, etc. This is the last 5 minutes of the game. The Celtics shot 2 for 10 in that time. Like I said, of the 8 misses, 4 were threes and 4 were Jason Tatum, either drives or pull-ups in the mid-range. So let's take a look. I'm going to try to mute all the clips, but you're going to hear them because I can't mute them before I play them. First shot. This was one of their 2 makes. It came right after the 5-minute mark. Good attack. Also, at the time, didn't matter. This has to be a call. Like, objectively, he is in the restricted area. There is a foot in the restricted area. If you don't jump when you're in there, it is an automatic foul if you make contact. So this is, like, by definition, a foul. It didn't matter, but it had like if
solid play, took advantage of a size
Yeah.
mismatch. Brown bully balled and scored, and very well could have been an and one, like you mentioned. I know they went to timeout right after that, and there was some complaining that happened. Fair enough, but overall, good look. Way to play out of the post. I think post is power rankings number one thing I like to see late in games, just because there's so many different things you can do with it in terms of drawing attention and making the right play from there. So good call.
Yes. All right. Next one. Next possession, Horford changes the angle of his screen and it throws Jokic coverage off. Tatum gets a huge runaway, but misses the dunk. Again, shout out to Nate for these clips.
This made me put my head in my hands. I remember this.
Let's take a look.
It look easy.
The sound pisses me off whenever I play it goes.
Can you mute the tab?
Yes. Good call. Thank you. Actually, I don't think it mutes it for you. I think it just mutes it for me, so it doesn't matter.
Can you not share tab audio to StreamYard?
Yes, I can. Okay, hold. Let's fix this issue real
We're
quick.
holding. But this is one of the most remarkable sequences of the game because, like the description of the video said, Tatum got an excellent look at a dunk and just missed it. Kind of bad.
Tough, man.
Of like really sad, piss poor performance from your star down the stretch. But these are the type of attempts I would like to see him take more of. But I think
Did
Aaron
Gordon get a
did
piece of
good
it?
job. I don't
That's
know
what I was
if he
gonna say.
blocked or not.
Can I slow it down?
Yes, you can. No, I don't think
Something.
I think
The defense,
was
the
close.
defense definitely adjusted his dunk attempt, or he was trying to avoid Gordon. I credit the Nuggets. Like, it sucks. Tatum should have made the shot, yes, but like the Nuggets, I
could have just been a layup.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Nuggets did a good job of altering his play. It was a
Could have
bad
just
miss.
went with the
Tatum,
right to the opposite side of the rim.
Tatum said after the game, he said, "I missed some bunnies down the stretch. That's on me." And so, like, yeah, he just missed some easy shots. It sucks. It happens, but it sucks. Yeah, good play.
The decision making though is the important part of this whole segment.
Yeah, so not a bad shot. 2 not bad shots to start it, which is the important part. Next one, Nate says, back to the Tatum Horford pick and pop. They generate a wide open Horford 3. Like I said, all of the threes were jump shots, not pull ups in the last 5 minutes, which is good. Run it, pick and pop.
Open.
That is the definition of the shot you should want to get in the last X amount of minutes of the game. Like that is
shot.
exactly what you want. Good shot. Good job.
The NFL season is wrapping up, and there's still time to get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Now, the app is so easy to use, and there are so many different ways to bet, like live same-game parlays, find bets in the new Explore tab, make a parlay in the Parlay Hub, the best way to find popular parlays, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/Boston and make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Celtics use this action consistently, and it can free up D. White for a three, but Denver defends it well. However, Boston gets to switch them on for Tatum. He's long on the jumper. Okay, let's take a look. Thank you again to Nate.
Yep, Derek White usually pops out. They had
get
it.
Tatum on Murray, though. That's
Not bad.
I mean, that's an open mid-range.
But that was a crazy miss. Like, that was an insanely off.
It almost looked like he was going for the bank shot for some reason. Yeah, but it was just a bad shot.
Okay, can we restart this clip? Just play
I thought
it
you
again?
meant the segment. I'm like, what?
No. Sorry, I didn't want you to think that. So I love that they go to this mismatch at the free throw line. This is something I've asked for a long time. Like, please just go to the nail. It makes defenses have to work. Right here, he's already got the defense worrying. The reason I wanted you to replay that, he needs to stop falling down. This is bad. This is bad for the game. The league as a whole needs to stop doing this, but he didn't need to fall. This is bad. This is shameful basketball. And
also
I'm sure
didn't
the
need to
basketball
fall.
gods
Not convinced he needed to fall here either. I understand this one more, but like,
I think it's tough to balance when you're spinning.
There was a lot of falling in the last couple minutes. Regardless, though, the point of this is, did they get good shots? All four of these shots have been good shots. Like, these have all been makeable. Like, as much as Murray is there and he does fall, like, at the end of the day, ready? That's an open jumper. This is an open jumper for Jason Tatum. So
I will say this, and this is a very much a nitpick.
If he should drive, I disagree with you.
I'm not saying he should drive. Okay. I'm saying there is still 9 seconds on the shot clock. He could be a bit more patient and see if he can get any of these help defenders to commit off the corner. Overall, I don't hate this look. I'm not crapping on it. But if you really want to nitpick, which we should do at least a little bit, that would be the only thing I would say.
It is hard. I agree with you, and I know they're professionals. I will also say I think it's also difficult to nitpick too much in these late game. Everything's moving. Like, you got to make quick decisions or defense. So I'm okay with the shot. I'm fine with the shot. It is what it is. You live with that for Jason.
That was a fine shot, for the record. I stand by it.
I like this is again, shout out Nate. I like the initial idea from Boston here, but Denver navigates it well, and Jalen has to reset. JB takes MPJ off the dribble and gets to the line.
Let's see this.
Let's see here.
This was when the sweat started to pour.
Yep.
Also, the Celtics allow one more point from this point on.
Yes. JB gets MPJ, kick it back out. Denver did play really good defense the last few minutes of the game, I'll say. Credit to them.
MPJ is a little bit of a cone.
A lot of people
borderline a goaltend.
A lot of people in the arena thought this should have been a goaltend. I thought it was at the time. I want to watch it again quick.
And then he missed both the free throws.
Yeah. So it didn't matter, but yes, he did. Let's see. Was this a goaltend? I thought it was at the time. Nah, no. It's a block. He got it. Good call.
Derek White, he was ready. He was ready for the goaltend to count.
However, good attack. You got to the free throw line, no complaints. Outside of you got to make them, but like in terms of the offensive process, it's good, right?
Yeah,
fine here.
I thought he did a good job. MPJ is not known for his defense, and taking advantage of that mismatch is something they did a couple times down the stretch, and it was good.
All right, next one. Porzingis offensive rebound after a missed free throw. Jalen and Derek launch a pair of threes that don't go down. Either one of these go down. That's momentum swings back your way. I thought these were two good threes and just missed them both. Obviously, Jalen missed the free throws. Porzingis gets the rebound.
Respect for the hustle.
Fine three.
Fine look.
Got it. Another hustle play. Good for Drew. Another fine look top of the key.
Look.
Just
weird miss.
Like two open threes, man. What are you going to do? Two open threes.
That's fine. I was annoyed because at the time I was like, they gotta be for real and score some points. But I mean,
two open threes though.
In a vacuum, they're fine.
In a vacuum, in any vacuum, those are open threes. You take the open threes. It just sucks they didn't go in, man. Next one
is there's a little bit of read the room. You're 1 of 9 or what? Like one of a billion from 3.
You can't think like that though. If you have an open three and you're an NBA player who makes threes, you take the open three. Like that's just how. Like if they stop taking threes, like You can't just not shoot it.
Can you
you're
pull
open,
it up
you shoot
again?
it.
I want to see if there's an option there. The option being, don't just stand there like an idiot because you don't want to shoot it. Let's see. Not really. There's not really a lane for him to drive. What are you going to do?
It's an open three. I also, like I said, though, last night, he was slow on his
There was
threes.
the Tatum pass, who was also 1 of 8. But,
You caught it in rhythm. No, it's an open three. I stand it. He got an open three. He caught the ball. He shot it in rhythm. He just missed the shot. It's fun.
It's a fine shot. I'm just looking at what they could maybe learn or what
this is
other
also the
options there could
same.
be.
I understand that thought process too, but this is also you shouldn't watch replays for technical fouls in slow motion because there's you can see a lot more when you slow it down and rewatch it a million times versus in the moment, like you got an open three. So this is the Derek White
Cool
one was fine too. The second basket they got in the last 5 minutes. They're only in the last 2 minutes.
Celtics' last points of the game.
Yes, and it was a good drive by Tatum.
Yes,
drive, got there, not enough help.
Big boy
Obviously,
dunk.
super cool dunk. Good for them. Tatum broke off the action to bring MPJ to the play, but then he attacks right where D White is relocating. A bit cramped, but still a decent look that we've seen Derek White make. Probably a free 2 points to take the lead if the foul on KP isn't called. This is also the KP over the back call, which
let's see,
is a bit iffy. This was a nice action though, a nice play to get D White a shot in the corner. I thought, like Nate said, a little cramped, but it was still a Derek White specifically called for the D White pick and roll. And we've seen Derek White make that shot a million times. And then here is
fair whistle.
Here is the contentious Kristaps over the back call. This is my reasoning why I thought it was borderline. Yes, he pushes him in the back, right?
Yeah.
Over the back means you reach over and grab the ball. Like Kristaps has a right to get this rebound, right? He should have just jumped. If he had jumped
straight up.
No, he jumps into Porzingis, which is why it's a foul and it's a fair call. But you know what I'm saying, right?
If he
like,
dunks
it's not like
that,
it's
a super cool, sick poster and one, though.
Yeah.
Because like when he catches it, it's like, oh shit, he might dunk this.
Yeah.
If you freeze frame it.
Yeah. He also missed.
He missed the shot anyway.
Not that he was actually trying at that point, but yeah, tough call and tough that. And then obviously we all saw the KCP shot, but like I said when I said it at the start of the show, they got all good shots. Like they just missed them. That's why I don't think it was fair to blame Joe Mazzulla. They just missed a bunch of open shots. What are you gonna do, right? Like
there also wasn't like a ton of settling. Like
yeah, exactly.
I was concerned going into this. Like, oh, like, yes, they got good shots. But, like, even when I was like, well, they could have did this, this, and this, it was very, very niche. It wasn't like, oh, they could have made, like, a couple extra passes. It was not one and done type stuff. Yeah. And overall, it was more, wow, I can't believe these guys miss shots that they usually make, which is just as frustrating in a situation like yesterday when you literally needed one bucket to take control of the game and you couldn't get it. But from an X's and O's standpoint, what are you going to do?
It's tough. Which is why I thought it was lame as hell for Kendrick Perkins to blame Joe Mazzulla. It's whack. I just think that's super lame. But
Kendrick Perkins, known lame guy.
It's pretty lame to me. All right, let's go over the email. Let us know what y'all thought of that late game execution. And of course, as is the case now with the email section, let's start by giving away some popcorn. Let's give away some Pop Nito.
I've got the background. You got the giveaway.
Make sure to comment what's popping on the podcast YouTube if you'd like a chance to win some Incognito popcorn in the future. However, for this time, let's spin the wheel and see who's winning some popcorn today.
We had a lot of entries. Fair amount.
Yes, sir. About time.
About
time. This is Ryan Hall.
Congratulations, Ryan.
Pregame show legend, email legend. You know what to do. Email us at hbtcpod@gmail.com with your name and phone number, and we'll get you some popcorn, gift card.
And if you've already, we're going to ban you. There was some discussion specifically about Ryan before the show. We were like, did he win already?
I don't think he's won yet. I don't think UFC has won, and that's the entry I always put on. So, congrats. There you go. But like I said,
congrats or get to be banned. One of the two.
Let's check the email. First one we got, Andrew Lodge says, what's poppin'? Hey, guys, not much to say about today's game versus the Spurs. It went how it should have. I think Wemby will be a generational player at least. He's this is after the Spurs game. I read Nuggets, or I thought Nuggets in my head, and I was like, it should have. I think Wemby will be a generational player at least. He's incredible for a rookie, and it's exciting to see what the NBA could become the next decade. What do you guys think of the NBC Sports Boston having PJ Carlesimo on the broadcast tonight? I think he did a great job. Do you think it was a, quote, tryout like they did last year with Drew Carter? Tough minutes for superstar Svi Mikhailuk today. Drew, Svi's number one supporter. I didn't listen to the broadcast, so you can let me know what you thought.
My turn, baby. I liked it. I like PJ. I think he's a good voice to have on there. I also have a notable distaste for Scal. If it was an audition, not the worst thing ever. But I think it was more of a...
So was it no Scal?
No, Scal was there. What happened was PJ joined the broadcast for 3 quarters to kind of like enjoy spending time with Gorman in his last season. That's really what it felt like to me. It was not a tryout. But he did give good insight. I've always liked when he's a part of any broadcast, so I thought it was fine. In terms of the Spurs game, did you hear Wemby say that he really feels the Celtics have improved since 2022 and he really feels the team has made noticeable sacrifices? I saw this quote going around today. Well, you were there. But pretty cool. Pretty cool that the Celtics' growth has been something that's noticeable to somebody that was living in France and working towards his own pro career. So that just kind of goes back into, yes, the Denver loss sucked. It was painful, and I hate that they didn't score any points for the last couple of minutes. But at the end of the day, this team is still grown. Despite yesterday feeling like hey, look, remember when we used to do this?
See, I disagree, though. After watching it, like, I understand the feeling, but, like, the difference between that and this was they got good shots this year. Last year, it was all ISO and dribble, shoot. That wasn't what happened. They just missed open shots. And so I agree with the feeling and the emotion of it, but I don't think it was the exact same thing now that we watched it back.
Well, the shot's not going in is still something that needs to change. Like,
well, yeah, but it's not like
they got bad shots. But when you go 2 of 10 in the last 4 minutes, you have to.
I'm not saying it was a good thing, but I think the shot quality is a major difference and an important one to note. Exactly, that's why I'm saying it's different from last year, because last year the shot quality was terrible last year in the final few minutes because it was all isolation. That's not what happened this time. So that's why I say, like I said last night, I agreed with it at the time because I think the emotion and the offensive results were the same, but I think the execution was different, and I think that's an important distinction to make.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you're also not flipping a coin when you take a jump shot. Like, should make it. It's not a complete chance thing.
I know. You know what I'm saying, though. Like, sometimes it doesn't go in.
Sometimes it doesn't go in. But there is still some accountability to that.
I know, but I'm just saying it's different because it's a process thing, not a
The process is for sure better.
Exactly. Next email. From RJ after the Spurs game, just the 20th win in a row, and that's pretty good. Sorry, RJ. Evening, guys. Slightly undermanned Celtics just beat the Spurs by 20-ish in a game where most of the excitement was about a rookie making his debut on the parquet. Not the French guy, Jordan Walsh. This was a very workmanlike, almost boring game. I think all of us were surprised about Luke getting the start and winning the tip, but most of the game seemed like the C's were less cared about beating San Antonio and just more trying to keep themselves interested in the contest. Mimi got some minutes and showed how much development lies ahead for Wemby being able to defend him. O'Shea got 12 minutes without making a 3. Fun fact, in 2 games against the Celtics in 2022, Brissett made a combined 10 3-pointers so far this season. As a Celtic, he's made 10 3-pointers. Finally, with about 3 minutes left, Jordan Walsh checked into the game. He did the things new guys do, get rebounds, 4 of them, run into teammates on plays, and wait for the ball when defense over-rotates. He did get a nice look at a 3-ball with 45 seconds left, but it didn't drop. Not a bad way to take the wraps off your NBA career. I expect we'll see more games like tonight as the Celtics keep trying to improve all the way down the bench so that everyone is ready to contribute if needed come playoff time. The C's hitting the halfway mark with a 32-9 record and a 4-game edge in the loss column over the Bucks and the Sixers. I like the way the squad is trending. Be well, RJ. Yeah, Spurs game good, basically.
Maybe Walsh will get some run on this road trip. Never know.
It's some tough opponents.
Houston better home team than road team. Notable fact.
Very true. And then Dallas, Miami. So we'll have to see. But last email from Ryan Hall. Congrats to you, brother. You're getting some popcorn. I would like your thoughts on a couple.
Hit him with the reply after this. Just be like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would like your thoughts on a couple players I just can't get a read on. First player is Patrick Williams, the 2020 draft 4th overall pick. This is email is called Busts or No. He is inconsistent and has not turned out what they thought they were going to get out of him. Next is the Thompson brothers, even though it's early on in their career. Amen has done G League time and Asar, although great defensively, offensive struggles make him unplayable at times. Also, the duo of Jabari Smith and Jalen Green, 2 top prospects, but aren't quite producing consistent wins. Do they just need more time? Lastly is Ben Mathurin, 2022 6th overall pick. At times, he looks great, but consistency seems to be his problem as well. Is he just young and trying to find his footing in the league? Thanks for your time. Much love, Ryan, a.k.a. UFC Dana White.
Thanks for me.
Yeah, thank you. I think a lot of these players, it's way too early to say bust or no, especially the rookies this year, like the Thompson twins. Like,
yes.
You just can't get a read on them yet. They're both good defenders, which I always think is the more important starting space. Like you always say, you can learn to shoot. You can't really learn how to defend at a high level. Well, you can, but not like with this athleticism and this like instincts. So I think they'll be fine. At the very least, they can turn into a high tier, not great shooter, but elite point guard who can defend and be huge for that position. Like they'll be fine. I'm not worried about the Thompson twins. I think they'll be really good players. Patrick Williams, you can get a read on. He's been better this year since the Bulls have turned their season around. I think he'll just end up being a really solid, like Dorian Finney-Smith type guy, which is obviously not what you want when you draft a guy 4th overall, but like still a valuable player. So if you want to call that a bust, sure. But like, I don't know. I think he'll be a fine quality, like I think he'll be a 5th starter, if that makes sense. Like not he's not going to be a 1, 2, 3 guy, but he'll be a solid like starting level player on a good team.
In relation to the Rockets guys, too young. Jabari Smith has had a much better second year than his first year. Jalen Green is 21. Mm-hmm. He's had 2 seasons as a pro, but he's still only 21. They're very young. To put in perspective, like NFL guys don't get in the league till like 22, 24, like around that range. So there's plenty of time for these guys to come into their own, learn how the league goes. If you really would like to be like, there is a problem with this, Houston is going to have to pay them sooner rather than later. Like, even though they're young, they still have the 4-year rookie deal. And after that, it's up for grabs. So you have to make a decision before you might know that they're good or not, which kind of sucks. But do I think you should give up on them? No, I don't.
Yeah, you had a really good chance to make a funny joke, and you didn't.
What was that?
You said, there's a problem here. Houston has to. You could have said Houston has a problem.
No, if I ever make that joke, please hire a hitman to shoot me.
You had a chance. Come on, I mean, it was there. It was there for the taking.
But yeah, I think they're going to be all right. They'll be fine, especially Jabari Smith. Fans.
Yeah. As far as Ben Mathurin, inconsistency is absolutely the name of the game. They beat Sacramento without Halliburton pre-Siakam trade a couple days ago on the first leg of a back-to-back, and he shot 11 of 21, 2 of 6, 25 points. Last night in their loss to the Blazers with Halliburton and Siakam, he shot 0 of 8, 0 of 5. Probably not good. Probably should be a little bit more consistent. That's been the problem.
Celtics
up. Yeah, he lifted the Celtics up, but then he's struggled against the team. So like inconsistency is absolutely the name of the game with him. I also think he needs a consistent role. They started him to start the year, and that didn't work, so they brought him off the bench again. So like he's getting flip-flopped a little. I think just put him as your 6th man. Let him rock in that role for now. Eventually, make him get that make that move to the starting lineup, but he's got to improve on defense first. So it's a little bit awkward, but I think he'll be fine as well. He's just got to find his footing a little bit in terms of consistency. But yeah, thank you.
He's in a good situation too. Like I think this Pacers team is a great place for a lot of those young guys because the team as a whole is going to be growing. Halliburton's still going to improve. Nesmith, Mathurin, Jarris Walker is somebody that hasn't even played for them yet. They're still going to have time to like come into their own. It's going to help having Siakam there because pressure is going to come off of those guys. Ben Mathurin isn't going to be the second option on the floor a lot of the times because they just have more power now. They have better players. So you might see him become a lot more valuable, even though Siakam debut ass.
They lost. They did in fact.
They lost, and he was bad.
Was he?
You just said he was 0 of 8.
No, Ben Mathurin. Oh, I thought you said Siakam debut bad. I thought you were talking
Siakam,
about.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about Siakam. I see. Anyways, let's jump on over to the NBA section. See what's been going on around the league. See who's winning. See who's losing, and see who has moved up and down the NBA standings. Let me share my screen for you guys again. Here we go. Obviously, we know the Celtics lost, but the Bucks also lost. So good. Lost. Actually, the Bucks got murdered by the Cavs. You see that?
Oh, that was the last time they played. Yeah, Giannis didn't play in that game. They just got whomped.
Yeah, tough. Speaking of the Cavs have won 6 in a row, brought themselves from 18-15 to 24-15, making or slowly, trying to solidify that 4 seed. Though the Knicks are also really hot right now with OG 8-2 in their last 10, 1-2 in a row. Heat and Pacers have cooled off a little, 5-5, 6-4 in their last 10, both on 2 and 1 game losing streaks. But I mean, they're only a game and a half out of the 4 seed, so it's too hard. It's hard to complain. And Pacers also just got Siakam and Halliburton, and they got some. They get to build that chemistry up, but they've got good players. They've got a good squad. Same with the Heat. Magic.
You know what's funny?
Yes,
is literally everybody on the standings is like 6-4 in their last 10, except for like 4 teams. Everybody else has been ass. Like
in the top 10, yeah.
Just so like dreary January, like they just are slipping up. Maybe injuries catching up to teams, but yeah, back to Orlando. Sorry,
very middling. Magic 3-7 in their last 10. Bulls, Hawks, like Sam said, both 6-4. Hawks have won 3 in a row now. They're picking up the pace.
Back-to-back buzzer beaters from Dejounte Murray, as he's rumored to be
ramping
traded.
up that trade value. That's what I'm saying. And then you get to
buzzer beater guy.
Get to the bottom of the East, 4-6 for the Raptors, and then 2-8 for the Nets, Hornets, Wizards, and Pistons. Although 2-8 in the last 10 for the Pistons is big time. That's
good. That's half their wins.
Exactly.
Half their wins have come in the last 10. You might even say they're hot.
They're back.
Like this is the worst time ever to play the Pistons.
Getting out west, a lot of 6-4 as well. T-Wolves, Thunder, Nuggets, all 6-4 in their last 10. Though the Timberwolves have won 4 games in a row, as have the Suns, picking up pace a little bit. You get towards the middle of the pack. Jazz still 8-2 in their last 10, though they did just lose one.
Clips.
Lakers are officially below 500 for the first time this season. They're below 500.
I think they fell
not good.
More time. Maybe not.
Not good is the point. Clippers also 8-2 in the last 10, very good. Suns 7-3. They're finally finding some footing. And then the rest of the West is pretty meh. The Rockets have fallen out of the top 10. They're struggling a little bit. Warriors are still in the gutter, not good at all. And then Grizzlies still 5-5 in their last 10. They're still middling around. Spurs and Blazers still stuck, though the Blazers have won 2 in a row, so respect them, I suppose. But yeah,
Warriors. Are they finished?
Bad. They're bad. Yes, they're not very good.
Blazers licking their lips, looking at that Warriors pick. It is kind of crazy. Like Celtics had that pick. It was top 4 protected. The good news for all of us, 1, I think Drew Holiday's been fine.
Yes.
And 2, from everything I've seen about this draft class, is nothing spectacular. It doesn't mean that there isn't going to be a guy there that pans out to be a good NBA player.
Well, do you want me to make you really sad?
Go ahead.
I'm going to paint a picture for you, and it's going to make you upset. But
okay,
Warriors stay where they are. Probably get, the 8th, 9th best odds?
Yep.
Jump into the top 4. Do you know what happens? What do you mean?
Oh, do the Celtics get the pick if it goes back?
No. But if the Warriors won and it jumped into the top 4, that probably means the Celtics would have gotten the pick next year.
Cooper Flag.
Yeah, Cooper Flag. There was a pathway, is all I'm saying. Though, let me see if I can.
There's still a pathway. They have big money. They have guys sitting around. What if they're like, we hate Porzingis? Bye.
Well, it would have been
just dropped.
It would have been top 1 protected in 2025. So.
Oh no, that would be ass. That would be so bad. Especially like if somebody leapfrogged Cooper Flag and then they accidentally got the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
You'd be like, no.
Yeah, but anyways, Blazers could have some good picks. The Warriors are in trouble. They're not very good right now. That's not good, man. When you're only
Draymond angry, Curry displeased, Kerr bitching about everything. The young guys dissatisfied,
and yet they're only a game and a half out of the play-in, so they're not completely washed, but they are bad right now.
The Warriors is just a weird spot. Like, I don't know if they should blow it up or not. I don't know if I'm the Warrior, if I'm Mike Dunleavy, I don't know what my next move is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do an Ainge? Do you want to blow it up early and get value for these guys? Like, I'm sure some dumbass team would give you something for Clay. You could trade Curry. I don't think you should. He's the only guy.
I don't think they would
compete.
But imagine the haul they could get for Curry.
Yeah, you
would
get
get
like a
an
Gobert plus
obscene-
package.
Yeah, you get an obscene amount of stuff. Where would he even go? Where would you even trade him though? That's the thing. Like, what team has he? Like, do you trade him to the Knicks for all their picks? Do the Thunder want him for all their picks? Like, what
This
do
is
you?
crazy.
Yeah.
What if Denver was like, here's Jamal Murray and whatever else we have?
Would you even have to give up Jamal Murray?
I would want to.
You would. I wouldn't. I would keep him.
Well,
I'd rather keep him than.
If you give up Jamal Murray, that takes like the burden off a lot of the other stuff you might have to give up.
I suppose, but if I guess, yeah, I don't know. That'd be crazy, man. I'm trying now. I'm just
Curry's
theorizing.
going to go to the Lakers. Lakers going to get him.
They don't
LeBron
have the
stepping to
assets.
team up. They don't have the
They don't have
assets,
assets.
but you would go on Twitter and it
You'd
would
hear
trend
it.
every
Yeah,
single
sure.
day.
You'd see it.
Other teams.
Maxey, would you trade Tyrese Maxey for Steph Curry?
If I'm who?
Either.
If I'm Philly, yeah. Philly's like, I mean, they got to be desperate. They never win. They never get past the second round.
Philly doesn't have the picks, but Maxey is like, damn.
Oh,
damn
if
good
I'm the
player.
Warriors, I would be like, we'll see.
Mm.
Other teams.
This is an obscene.
Did you say Minnesota could do something?
They don't have the picks or the players.
Oh, they don't have the
I don't
picks. You're
think.
correct. You're correct.
Miami,
Orlando.
would you trade Bam for Steph if you could?
I don't think the Warriors would do it.
Maybe.
I also don't know if you're Miami, if you have enough aside from Bam to like hold up.
What if it was
big guy spot?
What if it was Hero, Jaquez, all the picks and stuff like that? Not even. That's not even close. Now that I'm saying that out loud. That's this. There isn't anything that's close for Steph though. That's the thing. Ooh, you know what it could be? Every single Houston and Phoenix pick that the Nets own.
For the Nets, yeah,
all of them. That might
Celtics
be
should
it.
go get him.
For what?
I don't care, dude. Take your pick.
Really? What's the line? What would you / wouldn't you give up for Steph Curry if you're the Celtics?
I would keep Tatum and Brown. Have anybody else? But then again, if you're the Warriors, you want one of them.
That's
the whole point of getting rid of Steph is what's next.
Exactly. Anyways, we can move on from this obscene conversation. I don't think there's anything else out there that would make sense for a his Suns trade Devin Booker. KD.
Orlando's my favorite team for that, though.
Yeah.
They have a zillion guards. A lot of them are young. You could be like, here's Franz.
Spurs are just like Wemby. Come play with Steph for a couple of years.
They could do that.
That'd be electric, man. They trade their picks. Oh, that'd be fire. You trade Devin Vassell, whatever. Damn. Steph for 2 years, 3 years with them.
Chat, tell us your favorite Steph trade.
Yeah, now
we're
we're just being morons. Now we're just being idiots. I'm just like thinking, like around the league, the best guys. It'd probably be a big guy like Giannis, Jokic, Embiid, but none of them have the players or the picks outside of Denver, maybe. And I don't think they'd want to ruin that regardless of whatever it is.
If I'm Denver, I'm doing it.
Really?
This is the Jaylen Brown KD conversation, though, really.
Yeah, true.
Because you're like, like KD's proven he can do it. But like in hindsight, if the Celtics traded Jaylen for KD, it probably wouldn't have went well.
So you wouldn't trade Jaylen for Steph?
I wouldn't trade Jaylen for Steph. I think I would do Murray for Steph, but that's very much I'm an outsider. I don't have any emotional connection to Denver, and it would be cool to see Curry run around with Jokic.
I think it's the same thing.
But I just think like Curry would be way better than Murray doing what Murray does.
I understand. He's also 7 years older, though. Or
He
however
is.
many years
He's
older.
old. And he makes more money. But they also have this weird Jamal Murray can't make a supermax because he's definitely not going to play enough games to be all NBA unless he plays like literally every game.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been an all-star yet. Like, so they're going to have to sign him or hope that he agrees to like a less than that extension, which is like 3 years, 100 million, maybe. It's significantly less. He probably won't, might test free agency, and maybe that doesn't end so well. It's very far away, but it's just something to keep your eyes on in terms of that. But yeah, Steph Curry probably won't be traded, so we just
probably
we just had fun for 10 minutes.
Exactly. Anyways, let's move on. Move on to the Pistons here. Can you explain to me what Pistons. This is? What's happening?
Yeah, so obviously the Pistons, we just did the NBA standings, not very good. And a Pistons fan has taken to Reddit to solve the team's struggles. User Quicksilver2525, maybe Adam Silver's burner, suggested this.
I saw this. I did.
He said, "We are 4-36 and on pace to become the worst team in NBA history. At this point, think about it. If the worst player on our team, I would say Wiseman, just started punching and beating the shit out of the other team's best player, let's say for a couple of seconds, then what's the worst that could happen? Wiseman gets tossed. He's the worst player on the team, so it wouldn't really matter. And their best player gets hurt. Just imagine Wiseman going complete apeshit on Luka before his teammates and referees are able to get involved. It would be at least 3 whole seconds, which is a lot of time to break someone's leg or arm if they're trying really hard. Just something to think about as we approach the second half of the season." This is the kind of brainstorming that the Pistons front office could probably use. As a response to this, I would say Draymond now is a Pistons trade target. I also would say what's the worst that could happen is Wiseman would get suspended, so you would eventually have to go down your line and be like, okay, it's your turn to beat the shit out of somebody.
So
and the Pacers have already signed James Johnson.
It's true.
Who would be the top guy in the league I would want on my team to beat the shit out of somebody because he would do a good job with his black belt.
You see the Udonis Haslem podcast clip of him telling the story of when, when James Johnson beat up a teammate for calling him for shit talking him. He should beat him.
I didn't hear about this.
It was something. Yeah, it was something funny. He said, "What do you call him?"
That's your teammate. You can't do that.
He said, "Let me find the exact clip so I'm not misquoting." It's what was it? I forget, but it was he fucked up oh yeah, Udonis Haslem and Bam talking about the time James Johnson fighting a teammate that called him a bitch. Man, JJ was whooping his ass. He beat him up afterwards, asked if he was good, then just left.
It's kind of bizarre behavior.
Also, how stupid do you have to be to call James Johnson a bitch? That's my thing.
Yeah, maybe don't call him a bitch. Be
smarter.
Maybe it's I'm better at basketball than you.
Yeah, maybe be a little smarter. Also,
be more thoughtful with your wording.
The Pacers waived James Johnson to make room for the Siakam trade, then they brought him back immediately.
He's the enforcer, dude. I'm telling you, Bucks, Pacers, fire. I'm all in. I love that they're both in the Midwest. I love that it's a rivalry. I love that the Pacers are a legitimately competitive team, and they have young players. They have a fire within them to try and compete against one of the Eastern Conference elite. I'm in. I'm in. Try and take the ball again, Giannis. James Johnson will Detroit Pistons fan strategy against you. He will fight you.
Unfortunately, no more games this year between those two teams. Which
playoffs?
True. I'm
pretty sure we got 5 games between them, so we can't even be sucks.
We did. That would be an electric first round matchup. Though.
That's what I'm saying.
That would be, yeah.
Silver, put in the call.
So right. If the playoffs ended right now and there was no play-in, that would be the first round matchup.
Well, play-in, you could really fix it.
Hey, come on, here we go. Anyways, I don't know about that Pistons idea though. Maybe we don't send James Wiseman.
Well, they had the other one a month ago that was what if we just killed our starting 5?
Also, don't really know if that would be the correct solution.
If you were a GM, you would have to at least consider it once in a while.
How crazy? Speaking of James Wiseman, how crazy is it that the Warriors just sold so hard on all these draft picks?
It's not that crazy because it was the COVID draft. I've heard smart people talk about this, and it's well, there wasn't a ton of college basketball. There wasn't the tournament, so there was a lot of guessing, and they didn't have enough information on scouting these guys. I guess Halliburton was.
You know what?
He went 13th. Celtics almost got him.
Thinking about it that way, kind of genius of Danny Ainge to pick a 4-year college guy because he knew who he was.
Yeah.
Not
the worst thing ever.
Smart. Anyways, next thing we got is Icegate. So Deandre Ayton got stuck in his house before a recent game because Portland got very icy and he missed the game because of ice. Now, in talking to people, shout out Celtics blog editor Simon Pollock, he was like, yeah, I live in the Northwest. It gets very icy. That's not a bad thing. I don't doubt that it gets icy. I don't doubt that it's dangerous to drive or even walk in your driveway. This is my take on it. So that's the entirety of the situation, by the way. Deandre Ayton missed a game because it was too icy. Let me find the exact quote.
Okay.
Excuse me, a reporting.
I put this in because I knew you had thoughts on this.
Yeah. So Chauncey Billups said DeAndre Ayton is ready to play, but he hasn't been able to get to the arena yet. Ayton tried for hours to combat the sheet of ice leading out of his neighborhood, and the team sent people to help out as well, but to no avail. So he's out for tonight's game versus Brooklyn because of ice. My thing is, if it wasn't too dangerous for the team to send people there to help him, I don't know if it was too dangerous for him. Now, the argument I've heard from this is, well, maybe he lives in a neighborhood and they couldn't even get into the neighborhood, and that's how icy it was. However, if the people got to his house and started helping him break up the sheets, why didn't he go back to the arena with the people that went there? Hello?
Right.
What are we doing? This screams like lazy
Tanking.
to me. It's so lame. Like, I think this is the corniest shit I've seen. Ice.
I think it's awesome that DeAndre Ayton, as a professional basketball player, got himself a snow day.
I didn't think of it that way.
Like, there is truly no better feeling, even as an adult, than getting a snow day. Like, when you wake up thinking you have to probably do something you don't want to do, and then it's like, no, you don't. Snow. Like, do you think DeAndre Ayton wants to go out there and play for the Blazers? Probably not. I hypothesize he's one of those NBA players that kind of hates playing basketball, and he only does it because he's tall. So this is probably like the best day ever. He was like, no, you don't even have to send anybody. I'll just hang out. Like, I'm good.
It's like, no, it's okay, guys. Don't worry about it.
Or watch a movie.
Yeah, ice skate, though. Ice skate. Anyways,
he's he's ordering like DoorDash. Like, the drivers can get to his house, but he can't supposedly get to the game.
Don't worry about it.
What is this? 7 of 9 days?
Shut the fuck up.
I'll say this about Chick-fil-A. I don't think Chick-fil-A is unhealthy. If I'm going to get fast food, it's going to be Chick-fil-A. There's nothing wrong with you getting it 7 of 9 days. I'm just impressed. This is not trashing.
What was I going to say? I apologize to Bobby Koritsky, and I need to tell him I didn't like the lemonade. It wasn't very good. It was too sour.
You got to try that Panera lemonade.
Don't want to die. Let's move on to next NBA topic we got is Quentin Grimes. Knicks, who are reportedly interested in moving him, has some suitors, some potential teams that are interested, per Ian Begley of SNY. Drawn interest from several teams, including the Rockets, Hawks, Jazz, Grizzlies, and then Stefan Bondi, apologies, of New York Post, were previously reported that the Mavericks were also interested. Do you like any of these teams for Grimes? What kind of trade? Like what TPE? Question mark. Celtics. Hello. But
I like Utah.
Grimes. Okay. Yeah.
Utah's hot. Utah
is this
in
your
a
new
position
Pistons?
Where they. What do you say?
Is Utah your new Pistons? Are the Jazz your
no?
New
I'm not like actively rooting for them, but
Pistons
like
West.
they're my hypothesis. I think they're going to be buyers at the deadline because they're realizing their team isn't that bad team. So I think them adding somebody that can play defense and shoot decently is a good idea. It's not bad. He could be a good depth piece. He's not getting a ton of run in New York because they have like 6 guys that are Quentin Grimes now, and they can afford to get rid of him. So another team I like. I think Houston has too many guys. I think he doesn't really get run there. But Atlanta, maybe he could like sneak
if Atlanta
in there.
shakes it up, yeah,
he could be an okay piece. It doesn't make sense for Memphis to go out and get him right now, unless they're really like, okay, we're gonna just stock up and then hibernate.
Yeah, that I don't think it could hurt them to. I think this is a good. I saw Keith talking about this on Twitter. A good get assets. Try to help them develop this season with a ton of minutes that you now have freed up, and then they can help you with everybody healthy again. You know what I'm saying? So like you get Quentin Grimes, you play him 30 minutes a night, and he turns into a guy who can give you 15 on efficient shooting. Like it's a diamond in the rough. That's a huge win for you. So I don't hate the idea of them taking.
And he was mad about shots, right? That's what you told me today?
I think so. There was something earlier this season where he was like, I don't know if it was necessarily mad about shots, but he was like, I feel like when I'm on the court, if I miss, I'm going to get benched. And so I'm scared to shoot. You know, it was that context.
Oh, it's Tibbs is a prick.
Pretty much. Effectively, yeah. But so teams, again, to that point, the whole point is just teams are interested in Grimes. Does fit into the TPE. However, if he is, you know, upset with playing time or wants more playing time, I don't think Boston is the place for it. So there's that. Anyways. Next thing we got, speaking of trades, the Bucks want Dejounte Murray. And to that point, what the hell are you going to give up for Dejounte Murray? You would have to throw in Bobby Portis and Pat Connaughton just to make the money work. They literally only have 2 tradable picks, and they're both seconds. The only hypothesis I saw, which was Nikias Duncan on Twitter, he said, like, yes, this is low, but if anything, maybe that just means the buying price is lower than we think, and if that's the case, somebody should go get Dejounte Murray now if that's all the Hawks are asking for. It's just a very weird report from Chris Haynes, a Bleacher Report. What is that's of course the Bucks are interested, but there's no way, right? That offer is terrible.
Yeah. I'm also interested in winning the lottery. I don't think this is happening.
Yes.
Chris Haynes is Dame's guy. I don't really know what Dame and the Bucks have to gain by him pushing this out, so maybe it is true. But he is Dame's guy. And I don't know if Dejounte Murray really helps them because he's essentially going to go play the same role with the Bucks that he's playing with Atlanta, and it's not going that well. He's fine. He's a lengthy guy, but he's skinny. He's not going to really be able to defend if he gets switched. He wasn't great in the Celtics series last year. I don't know. He doesn't move the needle for me. I think he's going to be I think he's a good player, and I think he can go somewhere by himself and be good, but I don't think joining the Bucks is a good situation for him.
I don't disagree, but I do think there is value for the Bucks in the sense that he would be by far their best perimeter defender, which would be huge for them. He would just turn into a point of attack defender and a catch and shoot three guy, which may not be where he shines the best, but I do think it's a role he's capable of playing. And I think there's a difference between him having to be the second best guy in that role on the Hawks than a third, fourth option in that role on the Bucks. So I do think it could work to some degree.
To another Bucks point,
definitely better. Yeah.
This is not a secret, but it's not a secret to the general public. But this indicates that the Bucks don't think they're very good. The public is telling everyone that the Bucks they're not good. Their defense isn't good.
Mm-hmm.
This confirms that the Bucks think that they need to do some extra work to compete. So if you're a Celtics fan, seeing this kind of thing should make you feel a little okay. They don't feel like they're on the same level as the Celtics, is what I'm reading from this. We need to go out and get another guy that's an all-star level player. You don't hear the Celtics doing that. You didn't hear the Celtics doing that last year. It wasn't a thing. Even when they traded for Derek White, they weren't doing that. At the time, Derek White was a good guard. He was 25-ish. And yeah, he could probably help and play defense and shoot threes. But now he's in the all-star conversation.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you hear about a real, true contender making a trade for an all-star midseason? It doesn't happen. Yeah. Dallas got Kyrie last year. They were ass. Phoenix got KD. That's probably the best example. And they went all in. Phoenix coming off a 60-win season where they got whomped in the second round, maybe decided they needed to change something, and they wanted to go all in. But besides that, and that didn't work. So there aren't a ton of examples of teams adding an all-star midseason and being like, that was what we were missing. Championship. Bucks might not. They might be in trouble. That's all.
Yeah. No. I understand what you're saying.
My mind is bouncing around to all these different things.
I tracked it. Last NBA thing we got is Zach LaVine reportedly not going to go to the Lakers. I thought you'd enjoy this, so I threw it on here. According to Dave McMenamin, ESPN, he said, I'm told that's not happening. Laker fans, if you're thinking about the UCLA Bruin coming back to Los Angeles to help this team, don't count on it. You're looking at the Lakers surveying the market for point guard help, and one guy you can look at is Tyus Jones, and another guy is Colin Sexton. So it sounds like LaVine is not going to head to LA, according to that, though the Bulls still do want to trade him, according to reports.
So what I'm taking from this is Danny Ainge is in the market to give the Lakers another free fucking guy. This is 2 years in a row.
What I'm taking from it is Danny Ainge knows the Lakers are going to suck in 2029. He's like, give me the pick, please. He's like, I want that selection. Por favor, give me.
I'm curious if LaVine even gets moved.
I think he will.
Where?
But I don't know. Somewhere.
Sacramento is just looking like it then. Because everybody else is slowly dropping out.
I think the Pacers could still be a destination.
Yeah, Buddy Hield.
I think the Knicks, I don't know if they'd want to do it, but they could technically. Doesn't make a ton of sense, but I think the Nets would low-key be an okay spot for him. You see the Spencer Dinwiddie thing too, briefly?
No, what's this?
Apparently he's like, hold on, let me find it exactly. I want to get the wording right because I don't want to just be spewing random shit
Okay.
on here.
But to your Nets point, LaVine going there, while I don't think LaVine is like a change your team guy, I do think the Nets have a reason to try and be good because they don't have their own picks. So I would want to certainly try and do anything I can to try and compete because you don't have a choice.
Yeah. The Dinwiddie thing is people within the league believe Spencer Dinwiddie's on a strike and showing minimal effort on the basketball court for the Nets. It's just I just don't know. It's from Nets Daily.
He's not good enough to strike.
Yeah,
he should be happy he's on a team. Not really. He's above that level. But
he's shooting
he is not good enough to strike.
He's shooting 39% from the field, 32.5% from three. So not great so far. Good question. Spencer Dinwiddie is making $20.3 million this year, but it's the last year of his contract, so he's expired.
Who trades for him? Is he a Philly guy?
Nobody guy right now. He stinks.
He stinks, but like some team could be like Philly could be a team that's like, especially if
you know what?
He's striking.
That could be the Lakers guy.
Could be the Lakers guy.
That could end up being what it is.
Here's D'Lo back. He was fun for that one year you guys had him and beat Philly
I've seen
in the playoff opener.
I saw a concept of a trade that was getting thrown around that was D'Lo, Jalen Hood-Schifino, and like some other pieces to the Hawks for Dejounte Murray. But then the Hawks don't want D'Angelo Russell, so he'd go to the Nets or some other team, and then something like that. So Lakers would get Dejounte, which I know you wouldn't like, but yeah,
I don't know.
There was that. Anyway,
but LaVine is quote unquote hurt. He's supposed to miss
hurt,
a couple weeks.
Wink, wink. Probably gonna get traded, even though he did tweak it in the Raptors game. But whatever. Anyways, let's do the rat list. Would you like to start?
They put him out
here?
there. They're like, go ahead and roll your ankle. Do it.
Kick off the rat list, buddy. Let's see what we got.
Rat list: blistering cold weather. Today it was fucking 14 degrees per the thermostat, and the feels like was in the negatives. So what does that mean for me? Well, it means that I can't run outside, so I have to run on the treadmill. I hate the treadmill. I despise the treadmill. It's so boring. If you're like half injured, all you have to do is sit there and think about, does my knee hurt? Does my knee hurt? Does my knee hurt? How do you get through the treadmill, you might ask? Well, what I do is I watch as others get off the treadmill. And it gives me that little like, fuck you, get fucked. I outlasted you on the treadmill. So that's how I got through my morning today. But it's not fun. It's nowhere near as fun running outside or then running outside where you can just go out there, look around, see what's up, see if anybody you know drives past you, and then you're home. No.
There you go. Rat list, parking, or not parking, but traffic. I mean, I was said parking because I was looking for parking a second ago. I was on my way home last night, driving home. And the way this highway works is there's two lanes. I'm marking with my hands for audio listeners.
This is 24.
I'm terrible with road names. Okay. I could not tell you.
Go on.
Sorry. My exit is what I'm saying. It's a 4-lane highway, but at one point, 2 lanes split off into one way, and then 4 continue in another way. So like you can go in the far left 2 lanes. There were a bunch of cars that had to get off this exit. However, in the second to left lane, which is going to be the right lane soon when the exit gets off, 3 trucks. Already bad. Out on trucks. What's worse is the car in the far left lane going the same speed as the fucking trucks. Stop making a wall. It created unnecessary traffic.
If you are driving next to a truck, you have a responsibility to not drive the same speed as the truck.
You have to go around it.
That is your lone responsibility.
Yes, you have to go around it. There is no other acceptable way to handle that. Horrendous. Rat list the car.
I'll do a little bonus one. Rat list the cops. So I left my house yesterday. Mad cops in my neighborhood. Don't know why. They must have been looking for somebody. But like, there's nothing like quite as annoying as like literally pulling out of your driveway and then looking in your rearview and oh, there's a cop, and he was just like behind me for like, I don't know, first mile of my drive. So I don't even want to be on my phone, like setting up my aux because I don't want to get pulled over. Yep. But he fucked off after a while. But they were out and about. Nice. And when I got home from where I was going, somebody got. I watched him chase down block somebody. It was brutal.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like
you
didn't like
tackle him?
No, like he didn't tackle somebody, but like in the car, he was tailing somebody aggressively without his lights on, and then they turned onto their street and he got him. It was brutal. Wonder what he must have been looking for somebody, because that's definitely what happened. He found who he was looking for.
Excuse me. Yeah, tough. Gotta evade better. Is that your last one? I have a couple.
No, I got two more.
Okay. Rat list. Union Villa. So it's it's a nice restaurant in our town. It's like a bar. It's like a pizza, whatever. So there are 4 of us, as you do, right? I don't know about you. Usually you go out you can go out with however many people. Their serving of mozzarella sticks was 7. What the fuck are we doing? 6, sure. 8, sure. 7? It's an appetizer. Maybe I'm crazy. You have to make it
you're
like
not crazy.
A number.
I've never thought of this.
Split. 7 is psychotic. That's fucked. Like I went around, right? There was 1 left, and I was like, "Hey, were there 6 or 8?" And everyone was like, because I wasn't I had 1 already. I don't want to eat another one if it's a certain amount. You got to be respectful. And my friend Danny was like, "Oh, I had 2." My friend Peter was like, "Oh, I also had 2." Because I think we all assumed there were 8. Henry goes, "I had 1." I was like, "I had 1," and we were like, "Were there 6?" And we were like, "There were 7." It was just like, what the fuck are we doing?
It is a bizarre count to give out.
7 is crazy.
You could just be like, "Hey, let's all have 2." I mean, I think when we went to Vegas, there was I don't remember how many there were, but we all split whatever we got. That's how it works. Especially with appetizers. That's like the whole point of an appetizer is like you kind of like split it. Everyone's like, "Oh, I'll have 1." Yeah, like I want to have mozzarella sticks, but I don't want it to be my meal. I'll have 1.
Yes.
But when there's an odd number, it makes an awkward situation. So what happened? Who conceded?
Henry and I split it.
Tough.
I just ripped it in half. Yeah, it's just like a very weird serving size. I thought the rat list, it's just fucked up if you ask me. So yeah.
Rat list burnt cookies. So on Friday, yesterday was Friday. Thursday, I went and I spent some time with the lady, and we had planned to make cookies. I like making cookies. It's fun. I got to go to the store and pick out what I wanted to put in the cookies. So it was a very exciting experience. We made cookies with Oreo chunks, cookies with peppermint chips, and cookies with coconut and chocolate. Doesn't miss. Except for when you burn them. That's the tough part. So anyways, we do all the mixing. It's a long process. Made them from scratch. They still came out okay. But the bottoms were damn hockey pucks. It was brutal. We must have put the oven on too hot. And there is nothing more heartbreaking than opening the oven to see that you've burned the cookies after spending probably 45 minutes to an hour preparing the cookies.
That's tough.
It was tough. We cut off all the bottoms. Not bad cookies still.
That's just.
It's also kind of rat list making multiple flavors of the cookie, because then you gotta have one of each. You gotta try all of them.
Tough. The burnt is brutal, man. You can't overcook them. You gotta watch out. You gotta be careful. Rat list the tea. So I've got a couple things for this. 1, the green line is just down, which is what the fuck are we doing? Can we be better? Can we not shut down? Here's the thought. Can we not shut down an entire line of our train, system for 2 weeks separately in January? Yeah, just a thought. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think that seems a bit unreasonable. I'm walking out of the building with Steve Hewitt, who writes for the Herald, and I'm like, "Oh, where you heading?" And he goes, "I got to Uber because the green line doesn't fucking work." What are we doing?
Wait. What do you mean the green line doesn't work?
No, I knew it didn't work. It's just
wow.
And the reason I'm putting it on here, because I could have taken it today to where I'm going after this, but now I have to drive in and park and find parking. And just, what the fuck? It just work. Maybe just have your public transport system work.
What have you
transit
Ubered?
System work? Fucked. I don't want to Uber. That's a lot of money. Also ratless though. Another reason for the tea. Coming home last night on the red line, pulling up to North Quincy Station. Get there, door doesn't open. Right, get there, sitting there, door doesn't open. 20 minutes, we were at the station, stuck. You wanna know why, Sam? They overshot this fucking station. That is your only job. That is literally your only job, is to stop the train at the correct spot. Overshot.
I didn't even know they had people do this, to be honest. I
didn't even know you could overshoot the station. Literally, your one singular job, your one purpose is to start the train and stop the train at the correct times. They overshot it by like 10, 20 feet. And we had to wait there 20 minutes so they could get permission to go backwards 10 or 20 feet, open the doors, and then leave again 10 minutes later.
Wait, why can't you just reverse for like 2 seconds? Like, isn't it more dangerous just to sit there and block off the railway?
Well, you have to make sure, I overshot. Like, I don't know. Calling people, don't send the train yet, stop everything, but I fucked it up. I don't know why. I think I agree it would have been easier to just go backwards. Maybe you have to get permission to go backwards on the track. Maybe some setting has to be pressed.
Maybe.
It is literally your only fucking job to stop the train at the correct time. That is the most obscene miscalculation, obscene mess up I've ever seen. And the fact that we were stuck at the train station 20 minutes waiting for you to reverse and then 10 minutes waiting for you to go forward again is absurd. Ridiculous.
That is ass. I would be furious.
Tragic. It's literally your only job. That's like me saying, "Oh, sorry, I couldn't write in English today." What do you mean you couldn't? Like, what the fuck are we doing? So whack.
Is that it for you?
That's all I got.
Okay. Ratless restaurants that have entertainment. So yesterday was Frank's birthday, and as a good friend,
shout out Frank.
I conceded.
Happy birthday!
I said I would watch the second half of the Celtics game, not at my house.
Yep.
I texted Jack about this, kind of. And I told Jack, typically I watch games in silence. I sit there, I don't really speak, and I just take it in. I arrive at the restaurant. They only had the Celtics game on one of the big TVs. But I positioned myself so I could watch it. Sound was on. Gorman is talking. Then all of a sudden, the sound's gone. Catastrophe. I see this woman grab a microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Top 10 things I don't want to see when I'm watching the Celtics. Somebody grab a microphone. Number one. Number two. Celtics lose is number one. It is time for music bingo. What? You turned off the Celtics? Well, at least the game was still on, but you turned off the sound of the Celtics playing the other best team in the NBA so you could have music bingo? And then she's like talking the whole time and they're playing these different songs. And then the Celtics lose. And somebody comes over to the table and is like, do you guys want to play? I almost committed a murder. After watching the Celtics go scoreless for like 4 minutes, somebody asked me if I want to play music bingo.
Well,
like, no.
Did you
I
play?
want to go put my head in the microwave. I don't want to play music bingo.
Why didn't you play? It would have been fun.
No, it's stupid. You should, if you own a restaurant, you should literally never have entertainment in your restaurant.
I love trivia, man. Big fan.
Trivia is fine. Music bingo is not. Trivia is fine. Nobody wants to go into a restaurant and hear music, like a live music thing playing. I don't want to hear a DJ at a restaurant. Like, just have like whatever radio play.
I will say, I personally agree. I don't love like listening to loud shit while I'm eating, but I would argue that there's a very big section of the population that does in fact enjoy listening to live music at restaurants.
Yes, but like not at a sports bar.
Sure. Okay. Sports bar is a bit.
Like, yeah,
crazy.
Like, sure, you could be like...
I was going to say,
look,
like, saying nobody likes that is a bit...
Well, like, I don't know, you're in a very small space. Like, I don't exactly want somebody fucking performing.
I understand. No, I like I said, I personally
one time I went to a pizza place, and they had this guy just in the corner. Like, that's not fun for them either.
Hey, man.
Nobody wins.
He needs his big break. Come on.
That's the
that
problem.
person.
Like
Sam,
maybe
that was Ed Sheeran. Was that? Are you sure it wasn't Ed Sheeran pouring in the pizza parlor?
I don't know, but just nothing more catastrophic than when I heard it's time for music bingo. I was like, "What happened to the sound?" I was worried there wouldn't be sound, but then there was. I was so excited, and then like, oh, it's music bingo time. And, like, people are excited.
It's tough. Tough look. Well, that's probably their like, what was it, Friday? They probably do that every Friday or some shit. Not I'm saying like
terrible.
Correct, but you know what I'm saying, like it's probably their thing. They are music bingo. Well, now you know that you don't go back there. Yeah. You don't go back for music bingo. Not a real rat list, and we can wrap up the show here, but I'm making the thumbnail for the thing, and Joe Mazzulla's headshot is very big next to Perk, and so enjoy that thumbnail on there.
Little boy Perk.
Yeah. Well, no, Perks is also huge. It's just the best pictures I found for it are giant. Anyways, Thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate it very much. Make sure to subscribe to How About Them Celtics. Leave us a review on Apple. I saw a couple new ones. We appreciate it very much. I'm not mad today because we got new ones, but leave us a review anyways. Follow us on Spotify. Leave 5 stars. All that good stuff. And I'll let Sam wrap it up.
Yes, thank you very much for listening or watching. If you're watching, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like Jack said, we're coming at you every single day with pods, game recaps, film breakdowns, rumor breakdowns, and talking C's with Bobby Kravitsky. You don't want to miss any of it, so hit the notification bell. We're also live a half hour before every single game here, so come hang out in the chat. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of regulars, and it's a good time. You can find us on Spotify and Apple, too. If you follow us there, you'll get the game recaps and pods right to your inbox, audio only. Leave us a nice 5-star review. Say something nice. You can also reach out to us via email. You saw it today. We go through the emails on each podcast, so if you want to be a part of that, the email is hbtcpod@gmail.com. We always check them. We always appreciate anybody's input. We have a lot of fun. If you want the socials, at How About Them C's, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. The Facebook is just the part of the name of the show, not the part of the show. It's the name. It's the name. You can find our pregame streams there as well as on Twitter. Jack's Twitter is at Jack's1NBA. Mine is at Sam LaFrance, and that's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac.